In recent decades, remarkable economic growth has occurred in Asia, led by a dynamic private sector that produces everything from rice to technological devices for local and international markets. However, despite these great achievements which position Asia as the fastest growing region of the world economically, poverty remains as one of the biggest challenges we face today. In Asia, the most populated continent in the world, more than half of its 3.9 billion people still live in poverty, with limited access to quality and sustainable markets, jobs, income, and even basic services. But now there is an innovative new way to fight poverty called inclusive business. An international alliance to promote this approach has been established by Snv Netherlands Development Organisation and the World Business Council for Sustainable Development. Snv has developed a unique methodology and tools to include more low-income population in companies' value chains. Over 100 inclusive business ventures in 20 countries in Asia, Latin America and Africa are already supported, including large domestic and multinational companies in agribusiness, financial services, ICT, low-cost housing, forestry, biofuels, tourism and nutritional products, amongst others.
We believe that poverty reduction is not only the work of government. We feel that private sector companies have an important role to play in poverty reduction, and we do that through an approach that we call inclusive business. Inclusive business is an approach an initiative where we work with companies and we find ways in which to include low-income segment of society, poor people, to the core business of companies. This can be done by the poor people being suppliers of the company. They can also be consumers of the company. They can also be employees of the company, or they can also be distributors of the companies. In all ways, they earn income or earn benefits that help to sustainably reduce poverty.
Please join us to see how inclusive business works in reality. Cassava is normally grown by smallholders and is sold to retailers or local tapioca starch processing factories, with the remaining volume used for animal feed and ethanol production. Hunghua Cassava Starch Processing Factory was established in 2004 by Guangxi Trading Company. For many years, the factory experienced difficulties in dealing with the unstable supply of feedstock.
Năm 2008, tình cờ tại một cái hội thảo ở Sở Kế hoạch Đầu tư của tỉnh Quảng Trị thì chúng tôi được tiếp xúc với cái tổ chức Snv. Thì qua cái trao đổi trò chuyện với tổ chức Snv thì chúng tôi thấy có một cái điểm rất là tương đồng, đó là cùng là giúp dân làm giàu và là tìm mọi cách để nâng cao cái nhận thức người dân trong cái công cuộc xóa đói giảm nghèo. Từ đó thì chúng tôi hợp tác liên tục với Snv trong cái việc là gia tăng cái chuỗi giá trị cho cây sắn. Đấy. Và sau đó thì tổ chức Snv cũng đã là lên cái kế hoạch thực hiện công việc cụ thể, ví dụ như là đã đào tạo các cái lớp TOT cho các cái cán bộ xã, cán bộ huyện, để từ đó là lớp cán bộ này họ về họ dạy trực tiếp cho người dân. Và một cái thành công nữa của tổ chức Snv đó là họ đã thành lập được cái tổ đội sản xuất. Đấy. Và từ cái tổ đội sản xuất này đã đưa lại cái hiệu quả rất là rõ rệt và đã gần như thay đổi được cái nhận thức của người dân đối với cái việc trồng sắn.
Bữa nay dân phần khá già, nhà nào không đói nữa, không nghe.
Perfect unity has been created between the company and local farmers. With a reliable source of feedstock, the Hunghua Cassava Starch Processing Factory is now able to sustain its production capacity and to satisfy its Chinese export markets, whilst at the same time turning cassava into a cash crop for the surrounding community. Vietnam Biomass is the first ever for-profit Vietnamese company specifically designed to deliver market access to small-scale biomass energy production. Vietnam Biomass produces biomass derived from the plant Jatropha curcus, an ethical and sustainable second-generation biofuel feedstock. On marginally productive lands, jatropha cultivation sidesteps pressures from rising food prices and the negative impacts of high conservation ecologies. VBM aims to become the leading provider of similar biofuel feedstock in Vietnam.
Làm đây thí điểm thôi. Nói như cô dưới chân rảnh á là thắng lời thì coi như là tòa gia còn hưởng mà thất bại cũng phải đần như là để kinh nghiệm.
So inclusive business, in my mind, is simply bridging the two together and putting them in connection with each other and teaching one about the other, teaching one, the smallholders, how to more sustainably produce their products, and teaching the multinational corporations that you can, in fact, make a production unit out of a smallholder, and they can be a reliable source of feedstock.
Based on the inclusive business model, Vietnam Biomass partners with Vietnamese smallholders by delivering free agronomy stock, training in sustainable methodology, ongoing support and of course the guaranteed purchase of all produced biomass. With the support of SNV, Vietnam Biomass is able to assist in building capacity with local cooperatives as a contractual partner in the value chain. This contract offers guaranteed pricing for the produced biomass, with sustainable price floors and win-win division of increases in profit margin resulting from rising petroleum prices. There are many success stories of inclusive business around the world.
In Ecuador, the Alliance has introduced the inclusive business model into the supply chain of one of Ecuador's most important companies, Tony Dairies. The aim is to bring small producers into the value chain of large corporations. Traditionally, dairy farming had happened in the mountains of Ecuador, but land there is now scarce. There are many small dairy farmers in lowland areas, but for Tony, working with these small producers appeared at first difficult.
5 or 6 years ago, nobody was really producing milk down here on the coast. The small amount of milk producers that did exist were only producing milk for local consumption. They had no idea at all about aspects on quality and how to deliver a good quality milk suitable for processing in a factory.
The Alliance encouraged Tony to offer technical support to these small producers. Another concern for Tony Dairies was the logistics.
My first doubt was, is it economically possible to go and collect milk from dozens and dozens of small farmers?
The Alliance was able to help. The solution was a central collection point.
These doubts originally, which we thought were going to be impossible to take care of, it turned out to be very, very simple to solve. They would deliver the milk to us by small trucks and horse-drawn carts, but they would deliver the milk to one central point where we could analyse it, collect it, give each farmer a ticket to collect his milk payment at the end of the week.
It's done us a huge favour. It's given us price stability, and what happens? It incentivises us to produce more milk, because they buy everything we produce.
A win-win situation for everybody. The small farmer wins, the people who transport the milk win, we obviously win, the country will win because we'll be able to export products, and the consumer also wins because he's going to end up with cheaper products, better quality products, and an adequate supply of products. So this is something which everybody will be winning.
In Peru, SNV has introduced the inclusive business model to the distribution chain of one of the top companies, Nestlé.
As the world's leading nutrition, health and well-being company, we have a duty to make our products available to all consumers regardless of their social level. We understand and are convinced that the real opportunity for growth for our company is in the lowest socio-economic group. That's where there is a huge potential for growth.
I'm happy because I sell more, I earn more, and I would ask the company to tell us more about the products and their benefits. Then I'd learn more about them and pass that on to other people.
This is an example of working on the consumer side of the low-income sector. By targeting this 1.6 million urban women, Nestlé's market share in this sector has gone from 0 to 1/3 of their business in Peru.
In Vietnam, we are working together with the Vietnam Chambers of Commerce and Industry, VCCI, also the Ministry of Planning and Investment, to establish the World Business Council of Sustainable Development, which is a key group of companies that are interested also to promote inclusive business in Vietnam.
Hội đồng doanh nghiệp vì sự phát triển bền vững trong cái lĩnh vực ưu tiên là phát triển vai trò của doanh nghiệp trong những vấn đề phát triển thì chúng tôi sẽ hợp tác chặt chẽ không chỉ đơn thuần với các cái thành viên mà với những cái đối tác như là Snv và các tổ chức quốc tế khác để cố gắng đưa vào Việt Nam những cái mô hình tốt, những cái thông lệ tốt của nước ngoài mà qua những cái mô hình đó thì cái mô hình những cái thực tế kinh doanh cùng người nghèo, tức là doanh nghiệp cùng làm ăn, cùng tạo ra lợi nhuận trên cái cơ sở hợp tác với những người có thu nhập thấp ở Việt Nam. Thì đó là một cái mô hình mà Snv đã rất thành công ở những nước khác và hiện nay thì ở trong cái chương trình nghị sự của mình thì Hội đồng doanh nghiệp vì sự phát triển bền vững của Việt Nam cũng sẽ hợp tác với Snv và các cái đối tác khác để triển khai cái mô hình này ở Việt Nam.
We invite you to be part of the fascinating world at the base of the pyramid.